Headline one. Headline one is Instagram deletes meme accounts. It's a controversial lesson for us all, and I want to talk about that. There's a second headline for today's show, and that is, what does Pinterest 62% increase in revenue mean for you? What does that mean? And I want to get into both those topics. I will talk with you folks in the live chat and, of course, on the replay later. If you want to catch me live, make sure you hit the bell icon so you're notified, just like Tech World did. He's always here when we go live. So thank you for being here. And this topic, I think, is something we all need to understand and learn, because Instagram is deleting meme accounts. They're having trouble with engagement. Instagram is a very engaging platform, to be quite honest. It allows people to share imagery, which of course is extremely engaging. Obviously, it pulls people in. Good imagery pulls people in. They gave us the filters to improve the quality of our images, not the quality necessarily, but maybe the look or style. Give us something a little bit more. Sometimes average images turn out to be pretty cool images when we add a filter. But over time, people have started adding memes, and we find those on Facebook all the time. It's, those interesting quotes and ideas, and, people have done very well. Some people, it's been reported, that have got caught up in these deleted accounts, were making tens of thousands of dollars by just posting memes to an Instagram account. However, this is ultimate engagement. We read it, move on. We don't necessarily develop a relationship with that creator. And when that happens, that can be a real problem. And so, yes, you can get some short-term traction or maybe some long-term opportunities, but there's no relationship built there. And so Instagram is trying to combat this, again, because there is low engagement when you're dealing, especially with those meme accounts. But overall, it's a trend that is happening on Instagram. And I think it's important for us to understand why we want to be on Instagram, but also the bigger lesson. We have to remember Vine. We have to remember Google+. We have to remember that Instagram does not owe you anything. And if Instagram decides to throttle or change your type of account or just delete it, it can do so. Recently, it changed its terms of service. And when it changed its terms of service, it basically said, if you have more violations in a certain period of time, we can delete your account. And the people who got their accounts deleted, again, people who were making tens of thousands of dollars, had millions of followers, those accounts were deleted and they have no recourse. None at all. That is an important lesson for us to understand, and why, when we're developing our businesses and our marketing, the combination crew understands that we need to own some of our core marketing, such as our website and our emails. A lot of people who listen to me, and I think this will be a good conversation on the podcast, is that, especially for photographers who use Instagram as their portfolio, you don't want to have your portfolio on Instagram. I mean, you want it there to engage people and to develop awareness, but that can't be your core place for your portfolio. Instagram is not your portfolio. I did a blog post many years ago about Flickr. That Flickr is not your portfolio. And it's the same here because of situations like this. Instagram can change, and the person who has been in charge of all the things that we complain about on Facebook is now in charge of Instagram, and it's coming. It's coming. So you need to learn this lesson. You have to own the key portions of your marketing. You have to understand that the Instagram of today will be different tomorrow, and this is the same for every single social media platform. You need to understand that. You do not own Instagram, and you don't own the next social media, explosion, whatever it may be, unless it's your website, your email list. So that's the lesson. And it's important to understand that. Okay, headline 2. What does Pinterest's 62% increase in revenue, what does that have to do with you? Why should you care? Well, the company has, had a lot of growth. It's still going. 300 million active users. Most of them are women. We often talk about personas and understanding where people are, where your market is. And if you have a visual brand and it's targeted toward women, Pinterest is a great place to go. They attribute a lot of their growth to international growth, which makes sense. But they've also streamlined and simplified their advertising system, so smaller advertisers such as you and me can advertise a lot easier. And I have to say, I have done this for clients recently, and it's not been too bad at all. It's a lot easier, and they're working to make it a lot easier to understand the effectiveness of the ad spend. That's another area in which they've attributed some of their growth, that they're doing a good job at that. So I think, they have been very aggressive. Pinterest has been very aggressive in their growth plan. And I think it's working. I think it's working. So if you have a very visual brand, Pinterest is not a bad place to go. As always, this is about developing awareness. It's about driving some traffic to your blog or to your website. Quite often a blog. It's a good way, or a video, or something that's really engaging, and sharing that on Pinterest, and then advertising it can drive some good traffic. And a lot of times the right traffic, if you do it well. But just like anything, you just can't throw stuff up there and expect it all to work. You really do have to have a plan behind it. And honestly, Pinterest has said that they're trying to get away from the label of a social media company, but the fact is that is exactly what they are. They are social media. You do all the other things you can share in the same way and comment. It is social media, bottom line. So they're going to try and get away from that, but it is also a big search engine, and that I think is where they want to go as the visual search engine. And in many ways, they're there for that too. And the combination crew, lesson here certainly is understanding persona, developing a persona, understanding where the persona is, and Pinterest, if they're part of your persona related to females, related to visual content, not a bad play over there. So that's where we are. The controversial lesson of Instagram, understanding the growth of Pinterest, and that it could be someplace that you want to go. And hey, I'm happy to answer some questions now. I will do so on the replay. And those of you, again, if you have not hit the bell icon, I don't come on at a specific time. I'm coming on more regularly during the week with interesting ideas that apply to our philosophies in the combination code, as far as awareness, traffic, conversion for our marketing, growing our businesses, making our businesses valuable. What can I pull out of the news and what's going on that we can apply to our businesses now? I think that is really important. And if you have an idea, you can hit me up on Twitter or in the comments, of course, always in the comments. But if you have a little more, at Twitter, roshsillars.com is a great place to start a conversation related to this. Tech Worldwide asks, we can earn money from Instagram. So mostly people are getting brand deals. Once you get to a certain level, whether it's YouTube or Instagram or any social media, you can start making money through other various sources. And quite honestly, even though you can get AdSense here on YouTube, the people who really make a lot of money make a lot more money outside of that AdSense. We get excited that we're monetized, but the fact is, you can make more money from brand deals and other kinds of relationships, and even your own products and services than you can from the AdSense that the company makes for you. So no, it's not like the AdSense program, but you can make money because you are becoming an influencer. And the nice thing is that a lot of companies are going towards micro influencers, smaller influencers. So a smaller influencer, somebody who has maybe 20,000, 50,000 followers on Instagram or YouTube, that's a micro influencer, and they have quite often a more engaged community. And I mean, there are people with hundreds of thousands of followers and millions, but they don't have an engaged community. And brands started to catch on to that a few years ago. So instead of putting all their eggs in one basket, like somebody with 1 million subscribers or followers, they can put their eggs in 10 baskets with people with 100,000 more engaged followers or subscribers. So people can make money. And I've talked with a number of people locally who are involved in the influencer development, game really, and how they reach out to influencers. And it's really interesting how you go about that and what you're looking for. And Instagram is probably one of the biggest places in which influencers are courted, just like YouTube. But influencers really are courted heavily on Instagram, especially if you have an engaged following. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much. I'll check the comments for more questions. We'll talk to you next time, and I'll see you in the next video right here.